Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today, per the request of one of my viewers, they wanted another look at the conditional finality. Conditional, still, a, I don't know, I guess an on par shotgun these days. It can get the job done, but there are several key things that have made this thing not quite as useful as it was back in the day. One, not as many bubbles and wells in Crucible these days, especially in Trials. You still see a good amount of wells, but not really that many bubbles, so the utility of conditional finality has definitely fallen off. Two, it because of the way special ammo works, you're always really stuck with the solar shot most of the time. So the stasis shot definitely feels a lot more consistent in terms of one-shotting, and that's also the thing that the stasis shot is also the one that shatters when you ever hit with your all your pellets, so that can really deal with all the supers in the game too. So you get the stasis shot a lot less because you only spawn with one. And then three, the final one, they did nerf the handling by 15, so it's at a respectable 80. But a lot of the shotguns that it is competing with, like this Threat Detector Deadlock, basically maxed out handling. So this thing is not going to be nearly as responsive as it once was. So a lot of things working against the conditional, but in terms of the range, basically the same thing. Um, Again, if you have the stasis shot, it can still be deadly. The solar shot is still serviceable as well. It's just going to be not quite as snappy as it once was. We're just going to use transfer steps so we can show off the newer nerfed handling. And we're just going to pair it with an igneous hammer on Dawnblade and just fly around. So that's really going to be it. Let's get straight in the gameplay. Alright, so let's see if the conditional can still hang. I have plenty of kills on this thing. This used to be the best shotgun in the game, especially for Trials. Bubbles and wolves are everywhere. You had two shots whenever you spawned, so you'd always hit the stasis shot. And again, the handling was better. So a lot of things were better about this thing back in the day. So right now, its handling is basically a chaperone. Chaperone, uh, 80 handling, which is respectable, but it's not as big of a deal on chaperone because you don't have to usually quickly switch to your chaperone quite as often because it's a lot of the time you're just using it's a slug, so you have the shotgun out preemptively a lot more. The pellet shotguns are typically used a little bit more reactively than proactively, so the handling on Chaperone is not quite as big of a deal as I think it is on the conditional. We still have plenty of ammo though, because we've gotten a couple primary kills and picked up some bricks, so we'll still be able to see the stasis shot. So yeah, like the stasis shot right there, it still gets the job done. Like it still kills. As you saw from most of those. That guy's teleporting. And again, I think it's really as long as you have the stasis shot that this thing is going to be at least semi-consistent. Like right there, that was a pretty solid one shot. Again, you have to be a little bit more preemptive. You can't just quickly switch the conditional like as fast as like someone with a Prophet Boom or a Deadlock would, so you do have that working against you. But in terms of the one-shot kill, it does seem to still be pretty solid so far, which is nice. That way, at least it's still like a serviceable shotgun. If you got like nothing else, conditional will definitely get the job done. Let's actually wait for the special ammo so we can get the stasis shot. Hopefully I can also show off the solar shot, because again, like in Trials, that's what you're going to be working with most of the time. Because again, you only spawn with one, and it's another two shotty kills right there. I feel like we're getting pretty good value out of the conditional, but we haven't shot a single solar shot yet, which is actually kind of weird considering the circumstances surrounding this weapon. Shot that off a little bit too late. I kind of gunned him down, which is okay. Let's back up again. Let's see, we gotta get a primary kill to get some special. There's some on that body we just got, but are we able to reach it? Always so one. Oh, that body shot would have been enough after the snap melee, but not quite. see if we can just run at somebody with the solar shot and see if we can still get the job done. But yeah, in terms of like dealing with supers too, the ignition is not as strong as the shatter. It just doesn't do as much damage. So the stasis shot can just like one shot basically any of the supers. But the solar shot will just ignite them and it will do not quite as much damage. It won't fully one-shot a super, so again, it's a little bit less consistent in terms of the utility aspect as well. Doesn't seem quite as good at one-shotting as well. That stasis shot is really the magic that this weapon has. I feel like every time we've shot the stasis shot, it has gotten a kill for us. Run and hit him with a solar shot. Okay, there we go. We did hit all our pellets, so we did actually ignite as well. That's kind of cool. But yeah, it seems to be like the stasis shot is just miles better than the solar one. And that's the one that you're not going to have up most of the time in like those high stakes game modes. So that is a little bit unfortunate for the conditional here. Let's grab our solar shot. You run at this guy with the solar shot. Yeah, we got like half damage, which is like kind of like eh. I feel like most shotguns, maybe most shotguns would have one-shot that exact circumstance with the hip fire. But I don't know. I feel like most shotguns would have done more damage. And here's our stasis shot. Oh, there's a solar shot one-shotting. I thought it was more of a barrel stuff. The stasis shot's right there. I felt like it definitely one-shot a little farther, but the solar shot did at least get the kill, which is cool. Ooh, good shots there, Igneous, to get some much-needed special, but this is super. Kind of a waste of all those primary kills. Now we don't get a lot of super, or not super, special ammo. This fragile focus Igneous is just super nice. As I'm saying, guys, like, you don't need the adept versions for a lot of these trials, Vanguard weapons, so as long as you get a good roll of the weapon, that's really all that's going to matter. Even in PvP, where like the adept versions matter a little bit more in terms of like the slight base stat increases, very minuscule difference. Let's look for a Chow with our shotgun. We can just run in a straight line. Maybe someone will just be here. We did get the trade. Somehow we're alive? I did not expect to live that, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, they were just spawning on top of me. Awesome. Alright, so I feel like it's still a pretty good showing from the conditional. As long as you have that stasis shot, it is definitely a solid shotgun, but I'm not going to have that quite up enough to, I think, justify using the conditional. We can try one more game with it. That's not too bad. Alright, guys, so it's really sad. Conditional used to be, unironically, the best shotgun in the game. That 95 handling, less competition in its slot. There was no deadlock. Or someday at the time of its release, I think the only precision frame that was out when Lightfall in this slot when Lightfall was out was Fractithus, so not a lot of people even had that. So back when this thing first came out, it was easily the best shotgun in its slot and probably the best shotgun overall with its crazy utility, but the environment around the shotgun has changed so much. It is not quite what it used to be. Also, you know, those nerfs did hit it quite hard, especially that handling nerf. Pretty noticeable. 95 to 80 is a pretty tremendous drop, so it's not like it can't get the job done, but there are definitely a lot better options to use these days. So thank you guys for watching the video, and I'll catch you guys next time.